Namaste yogis, Nin here. Today we have a session for a full body workout, but we're going to be especially focusing on the abdomen and the core, but we'll also be having a workout for our glutes and our upper body. So basically the whole lot, but we want to create a bit of heat and a bit more tension on our core and abs. For this practice, I recommend you have a block or maybe two, and if you haven't got that, I would recommend you get a book or maybe a cushion just to make it a bit more comfortable for you when we come into some more posture enhancing poses. With that said, let's begin. Now the first move we're actually going to do is to come down onto your back, and it's a pose that we call a bridge pose. So what I'd like you to do is to grab that block if you've got it, and then just pressing down into the soles of your feet. Have your knees hip width apart. Just pressing down into the soles of your feet. Bring the block underneath your pelvis and your lower back, and just have the block at the top of your butt, basically. And just resting onto it. And then just relaxing here, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. If you don't have a block, you can actually still do this pose. So just again, peel off your back off the ground, off the mat, lifting up with your pelvis, pushing down through the heels, and you can stay here. But the other option is to bring your shoulders underneath each other, the arms underneath your shoulders, bring your shoulders together, your shoulder blades, and then interlace your hands and push down through the soles of your feet. But for those of you who have a block or a bolster or a cushion, just put it underneath, just at the bottom of your lower back. And this is a much more passive version of the pose. Just resting here. Taking a breath in through your nose and exhale out through the mouth. Inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. Now just taking that block away from underneath you, and unbind the fingers and bringing it down to the mat. We're now going to do a pose that we call reclined waterfall pose. So for this pose, I want you to bring your knees in towards your chest and then begin to straighten up your legs above you, and just have your feet flexed so that you're pushing out almost through your heels. And then you can stay here, option one. Option two, grab a block and put it in between your thighs and just lie here, just taking in the posture and the benefits it's bringing to your legs. Inhale, exhale, bringing your knees down, bringing your feet down to the mat, and just keep the block here. Maybe just adjust it slightly so that again you're squeezing it with your thighs, but this is only optional. You don't have to have your block here. And then what I'd like you to do is bring your hands to your head, and we're just going to do a couple of sit-ups. So we'll take 5 of these. Get some energy going, getting those abs warm. Exhale. Now just come down to the ground, remove the block. Just take it in. And then we're going to come up into a tabletop pose. And just have here your wrists under your shoulders, and then having your knees hip width apart underneath you. And then what I'd like you to do is curling the toes under, just lifting the knees and the shins off the mat, just hovering here for a couple of seconds. And then lower down to the mat, untuck the toes, just roll here for a second, finding your center, getting the blood moving, go back the other way, and then tucking your toes under and take a downward facing dog, stretching through the backs of your legs, pedaling it out. Now it's been a while since I've done a downward facing dog and I feel great just doing this again. So bringing your sternum towards your thighs, making sure your head is parallel with your biceps, pushing in, and then we're just going to hover forward into plank, and then we're going to come down, bringing our elbows in towards our ribs and take a vinyasa. Untuck the toes and then pushing up into cobra, bringing our chest down to the mat and then coming up into cobra, coming down to the mat again, and then finally coming up to cobra. Tuck your toes under, bring your seat back to your heels, take a downward facing dog. Now just stay here for 1 second or two, and then what I'd like you to do is to lift up your right leg, bending your right knee and just opening up the hips to the side, creating some space, and then bringing your knee towards your chest, and we're going to take a high lunge. So bringing your right foot in between the gates of your palms. And then we're going to come up, bringing the torso up, bringing the arms above you into a high lunge or a warrior one. We won't be here long, just press down, feeling that nice flex in your left leg, bending your right knee. And then just bringing your palms down beside you. And we're going to press now down into our right foot and slowly bringing our torso towards our right knee. And then lifting off the left leg off the mat and bringing it parallel to the floor if you can, and that's within your practice. You might wish to give a block here. And then bringing your left foot to meet your right. And then we're going to lift up into chair pose, tucking your pelvis in, tailbone in, engaging your abdominals. Exhale, bringing your arms over your head. Exhale, back into chair pose. Exhale, come down with your palms to the mat. Let your head hang here. Halfway lift, keep that back straight. Exhale, coming down into the plank pose. And then we're going to take a vinyasa, bending the elbows, pelvis, chest, chin to the mat, pushing up into a cobra. And then tucking the toes under, back into a downward facing dog. Stretching out through the heels here, through the calves. And then we're going to come forward into a plank pose, staying there for a second, pushing down through the palms, then bringing your elbows into your ribs, bring the chest, the chin down, and we'll come up into cobra. And then we're going to come back down with our chest, back up, then down, back up into a cobra, and then take another downward facing dog, heel, back, and then press up into down dog, just pedaling it out with the feet here. And now lifting up with your left foot to the sky
and then bending it out to the side to create some space in your hips. Then slowly bringing your left knee to your chest, and then bringing your left foot in between your palms, and we'll come into another high lunge. So again, if you want to raise your hands above your head, straightening up the spine, bringing the pinky fingers towards each other, making sure your knees are at a 90-degree angle. And now bringing your palms beside you, then just pressing down through that left foot this time on the other side, bringing your torso forward into a diagonal shape motion. Now this might be enough just here, but if you can, press down into your left foot, bringing the right leg parallel to the mat into warrior three. Making sure that you don't lock your knee here. Exhale, bringing your right foot to meet your left, and we'll come into a chair pose. Palms up, diagonally in front of you, pinkies towards each other, bending your knees here, tucking the pelvis in. Inhale, and then exhale, bringing your arms above your head. Inhale, bending your knees. And then bringing the arms down to the mat. Let your head hang here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, down to the mat. Palms either side of your feet. Stepping back into a plank. And take a chaturanga. Bringing your elbows towards your ribs. Lifting your chest off the mat. Then tucking your toes under. And then coming back into child's pose before we take a downward facing dog. Now here, we're going to do a few exercises. So again, I'd like you to lift up with your right leg this time. And then bringing your right knee towards your chest. Exhale, lifting your right leg up. Inhale to your knee. Exhale. Inhale again to your knee. Exhale, beautiful, well done. Bringing your right leg now in between the gates of your palms. And we'll take another high lunge. So have your knee at a 90-degree angle and pressing down through your left leg. Now here, I want you to put all of your weight onto your right foot and then come forward. So making sure the weight is balanced in your right foot, lifting your left knee to your chest. And just stay here if that's comfortable. If you'd like to take it a bit more to the edge of your practice, grab hold of your left knee with your right arm and then bring your left arm behind you and look out over towards your left shoulder. Exhale from here. And then just bring your left leg back behind you, back into a high lunge. And then we'll take another warrior three. So from here, press forward into your right leg. And then just bringing up your left leg so it's parallel with the mat. So here, just stretch through your hamstrings. Don't lock your knee too much. Then bringing down your left leg to the mat. Bring the palms down beside your right foot. And then come back into a downward facing dog. And we'll take that to the other side. So just feel your way here for a second. And then lifting up with your left leg. And then we're going to take our knee to our chest a couple of times. 2, 3, 1 for lock. Stretch up with your left leg to the sky and then bring your left foot between your palms. And then come up into a high lunge. Press down through your right thigh. Just find yourself in a comfortable position so you can support yourself. And we're going to come into that knee to chest pose on the other side. So bringing your weight into your left leg, your left foot specifically, and then pressing up with your right knee into your chest. And this might be as far as you want to go. But then if you want to take it further, grab hold of your right knee with your left hand, opening up your right arm behind you and look over your right shoulder. And just stay here for a moment. And then bringing your hand to your knee, step back with your right leg this time, keeping the left leg bent. Then begin to bring your torso towards your left knee, and then just pressing up so that your right leg is parallel with the mat, and don't lock that left knee. And we come into a warrior three pose. Don't worry if you wobble, that's completely normal. Exhale, bring the palms down to the mat, bringing your right leg onto the mat first, and then we come into a downward facing dog. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to do a pose that we call a split leg arm balance. So I'm going to give you a couple of options here. This is really good for getting into the hips. So what I'd like you to do is firstly bring your left foot in between the gates of your palms, and then bring your right knee to the mat. And then I'd like you just to heel toe with your left foot to the side. Now this is similar to a pose we call pigeon pose, but what I'd like you to do is take hold of your ankle, your left ankle, with your left hand, but what you'd like you to do is to bring your left shoulder underneath your left thigh and just hold on like that to your left foot, and just make yourself, you might need to wiggle a bit to get comfortable here, holding on to your left foot. Now this might be absolutely enough for you, bringing your left palm onto the mat, just feeling this deep stretch here, making sure that your shoulder is still under your knee. But if you want to just stretch a bit more, what I recommend you do is bring your arm out, putting your palm on the mat. So bring your left palm to the inside of your left foot, and then just grab your block or a cushion, whatever you have, and put it flat down on the mat underneath your right knee. And then as a deeper stretch, just untuck the toes, and then we'll do exactly what we did before. So that's bringing the shoulder underneath your left thigh and grab hold here of your left foot with your palm, just to get that deeper stretch and that stability. And then put your left palm on the mat. And if you like, just want to take it a little bit further here, begin to lift your left foot off the mat out to the side. Just hold it here for a second. Try to bring your elbows in, your chest forward, and then exhale. And then what we're going to do is come back into tabletop pose, bringing the left foot out between the gates of our palms, and then we'll take a dragonfly twist. So lift up with your left palm up to the sky, look up towards the left hand. Feel that twist there in the lymph nodes. Exhale, and bringing your palms beside your left foot, and then come back into a plank pose. Now here you've got a couple of options as ever. What I'd like you to do is either bringing your right knee down onto the mat, just move this block here and twist it round to the back of you, straighten out your left leg and reach over your head. If you want to take it a little bit further, I recommend you stack the feet on top of each other as we come into a side plank. This is really great for working your core and strengthening the upper body. Exhale, come back into plank, and then we'll take a downward facing dog. Stretching out. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So lift up with your right foot this time, and then bringing your right knee into your chest. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Good. Now again, bringing your right foot between your palms. Now here, just bringing your right hand underneath your right thigh and grab hold of your right ankle and let your left stabilize you here. And just wiggling that shoulder underneath. And then bringing the right palm beside your right foot, and that might be enough for you. This is a really good deep stretch. But if you want, again, bringing your arm back from under your thigh, putting a block just above your knee, and then flattening your toes, then bringing your right arm underneath your thigh again, your right thigh that is, and just holding on in this deep stretch to your right foot. This might feel enough, just circle here, but if you like, and it's within your practice today, lift up with your right foot and bring it out to the side, untucking the toes. Exhale, bringing your right foot to the mat, removing the block if that's what you chose to do. Come back into plank, and we're going to take a slide plank, a slide plank, a side plank from the other side. So option one, bring your knees down to the mat, twizzle out your left foot behind you, straighten up with your right leg, and bringing the right arm over your head. Side plank. If you want to press down into your upper body strength, bringing your feet together, bringing your arm up. Try to keep your hips down and straight. Take a couple of breaths here. Exhale, come down to the mat, bring your knees down, and then we'll come into child's pose. Well done. Just rest here for a second, feeling the benefits of your practice all over your body. And then we're just going to twizzle around on the mat, bringing your back down onto the mat. And then to finish it off, we're going to do some abs work. I promise you that. So bringing your palms towards your ears. Just lifting up off the ground. Exhale. Bring your elbows in towards each other. Exhale. And we'll take 8 more of these. Exhale, come down to the mat. Pose. We're lifting our feet off the mat and then having the legs diagonally facing upwards towards the sky. And then if you can, just bringing your torso up to the center as well. You might need to tip slightly forward and you might need to bend your knees, and we'll come into boat pose. So from here, just 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down to the mat and just have your arms out beside you. Bring one knee, the right knee over the left, and then let your knees drop to the side. Scoot your hips over towards the right and look over your right shoulder. Inhale. Coming back with your knees towards the center, unraveling them. Then bringing your left knee over your right. scoot your hips out to the side, bringing your knees over towards your right and look out over your left shoulder. Bring your knees back up to center, unravel your legs. And then just letting your feet drop out. Straighten your legs, let your feet drop out beside you, open your palms up to the sky. And just do a scan of your body, breathing in and realize where you've done your work today. And let all that exercise sink in as you congratulate yourself on making it to the mat today. To enhance your core, your abs, your glutes, your arms, and that deep stretch into your hips. Well done. Breathing in oxygen to those areas and benefiting yourself. Just relax. There's nothing you need to do right now. This is your time on the mat, and well done for showing up for yourself today. Take a final inhale. Exhale. Bring your knees up towards your chest to give yourself a hug. And then lay your feet down to the mat. Let your knees drop to whatever side feels natural for you as you push up in to a cross-legged easy pose. Roll the shoulders back. Lift your arms up to the sky. Bring your palms together towards your chest. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis, for trying that practice out with me today. I really hope you enjoyed it and you feel warm in your abdomen and your abs particularly, and I really enjoyed working through some of those more advanced stretches with you. If you like what you see, please leave a comment, a thumbs up, and if you want more, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would welcome hearing from you or any ideas you might have for future themes or practices. Namaste.